Hardcore country. Gotta. What's up, sickos? It's me, Bix Bested, and this is Don't Call Me Diva, where we only talk women's wrestling. I run down all the women's action in weekly AEW and ROH, plus whatever else the women's wrestling related that I feel like talking about through this episode. Content warning, we live in kayfabe here in Divaville, so no serious shenanigans here. It is episode 22 of the show. And if you need to know more info as to why we are here, go check out episode 1 in the free range playlist. How are we doing, people? Are we feeling good? I'm feeling pretty good myself. I'm ready to jump right into some AEW action. Did you enjoy the much more contained episode of the roundup of the AEW All In? Yes, yes, I think you did. My voice appreciated that. The girl can waffle. She really can. Put me in a fucking iron and turn it on. Anyway, carrying on, shall we? Are you ready for the intro of the show? Bring the boom, shake your boobs, dynamite. Hello, Chicago. We meet again. Is this episode going to be your redemption arc? You are all very hyped up to the max, looking happy as clams in this absolutely gorgeous venue, the Aragon Ballroom. Chicago and I had a falling out in episode 13, if you haven't heard. And this is the first time we have spoken since. The venue is stunning. It's an absolute visual feast. And Chicago, you're looking pretty good yourself. It's Tekla time, sickos! Her entrance has been tweaked again, and it is perfection. The camera is upside down, but now we walk backwards with her for a bit and then quickly flip around as Tekla explodes out onto the entrance stage. This reminds me very slightly of the Bastards entrance, where you like the camera was like behind the little, they had like this separation and it was like lots of holes in it and you kind of followed it around and he like stared at you. Anyway, getting off on a tangent then, but that was cool and it really reminds me of that. Tekla also has new battle gear. Her new battle jacket has big spikes on the shoulders, chains in all the right places, and it's red, black with like fluoro yellow accentuation bits. Tekla's battle gear is a gorgeous creation of chains, buckles, and straps in fluoro yellow and silver. Her hair has all of the volume, and Tekla is a star. Her presence and vibe are intoxicating, and her aligning with Julia Hart and Sky Blue just makes me unbelievably happy. The tone switches up, though, as the hip-shaking beats of Queen Aminata's music hits. To think that one day in the future we shall be calling all of these wrestlers champions at some point. I am so glad that I can share the brilliance of the AEW roster with everyone and discuss its beginnings. I've never been a fan of something like this from its like absolute beginning. Like before like ever before. So this might also explain my like extreme love for AEW. But it also is because it has incredible wrestling and storylines and costumes and music, and the personality also helps. AEW has a very nice personality. Like if you were going to meet it, if it like all conglomerated into like one blob, I reckon they'd be lovely to have a little, party with. I reckon AEW would smoke weed and we'd get on great. Moving on. The one and only is in a gold leopard print battle two-piece, also appropriately chained. The Queen stomps to the ring with her robe floating behind her. Sorry, Julia. The golden lights are emanating all over her. Queen Aminata radiates confidence as she walks down to the ring and is very much a fan favorite pretty much everywhere that she goes because she's just so goddamn cool. Dark Stats music hits, and our confident powerhouse in dark grey has a lot on her mind at the moment. Chris Statlander is in battle mode this time as she stomps down to the ring. But she doesn't have much time to get settled in there before the hero of the locker room's music hits and the bright lights of Willow's entrance break through the dark blue. I know she has no like control over when like her music hits, but like just thinking in this now, like, is Willow like kind of niggling at Darkstat? I don't know. We'll ponder on that a little bit later. Willow is out in all of her Willow glory, pumped up to 1,000 in her red and gold battle gear, with a dun 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 dun. Bow! Willow addresses the camera, and it's that moment that I remember it's a four-way for 100,000K. YOSH! Jesus, thank you very much. That's a nice little bump. In all the ways, Willow takes a lap of the ring, exchanging a playful wave with Queen Aminata before finishing up in her battle pose in the ring. The crowd is absolutely pumped. Chicago! You are having fun. You're letting your hair down. You're enjoying wrestling, getting swept up into the moment. Not currently a smarky fucker anywhere. Thank you. I think this venue is the best thing for the both of us. It really brightens up the mood, you know? As the four wrestlers face each other, it is Darkstat who breaks the face-off with a quick, stiff boot to Aminata's stomach. Oh, Tickler springs into action and sends Willow to the outside. Chris and Tickler then go head-to-head. Tickler gets Chris into a compromising position in the corner, but when Tickler runs at Stat with a body splash, Chris catches her and then hefts her up for a delayed vertical suplex that lasted around about 15 seconds. Whew. Tickler was straight as a board, and Stat was like a muscle statue, keeping her up there until she slammed Tickler down to the mat. Stat kicks up, and it is a gun show for everyone. Bravo. Stat goes for another power move on Tickler, but gets caught by a swift kick and then another, which takes Stat down to her knees. Tickler has Stat down where she wants her and goes for the ropes. Goes to the ropes for momentum, but her feet get tripped and she is pulled out of the ring by Queen Aminata. The four-way strikes again. The Queen sees Stat coming for them and pushes Tickler into the path of the incoming dropkick. Very smart. Like lightning, the one and only gets into the ring, runs off the ropes, and nails Stat in the face with her off with the head. Queen Aminata goes for the quick pin, but she sees Willow running in and breaks up her own pin to avoid the incoming senton. Willow lands on Stat and tries for the pin herself, right in front of Aminata, which was never going to work. Queen Aminata does her double stomp to break up the pin, but Willow sees this coming and moves, so the one and only lands on Chris Statlander. Woohoo! Completely taking her out. Stat rolls out of the ring while Willow and Queen Aminata both begin to battle between themselves. Willow is more powerful than Queen Aminata, but Aminata has deadly strikes and can take a lot of punishment. She is also very quick, though Willow is pretty damn speedy herself, I gotta say. These two battle in the ring while the crowd dual chant the roof off. Like I say, Chicago's having fun. Queen Aminata manages to knock Willow a little loopy, and she locks in chocolate kisses that make her and the announce team go a little loopy. Yo, sidebar. Come on, y'all. Tony, Excalibur, Taz, you are grown-ass men. Stop flabbergasting every time Queen Aminata does chocolate kisses, for fuck's sake. Yes, in real life, she is booty bouncing off of someone's face, but in kayfabe, she is using her long, strong legs to smash her bountiful booty full of muscle into the face to knock them the fuck out. Sell the move, you fools. Silly men. While this is going on, Tekla comes into the ring and boots Queen Amanada in the womb. Ow. Tekla takes her out with a running boot to the face, avoids Darkstat's lariat, and takes her out. But Willow is back on her feet and hoists the toxic spider onto her shoulders and then gives her a devastating backbreaker in the middle of the ring. Willow gets that everything is all right with the world now feeling, while Tekla rolls away in pain. Queen Amanada is recovering on the apron, and Willow pulls her up by the hair to deal some more damage to the one and only. Queen Amanada is not having any of that, though, and engages kicky feet very quickly, followed by a headbutt that puts Willow on her ass, and then she collapses to the floor, landing right down next to a down Statlander. Amanada climbs the ropes to do some flying damage to the pair, but Tekla comes up behind her, pushes her off the ropes. Queen Amanada lands rough on the apron and then crumbles to the floor. Tekla is now on the top rope. Obviously, the falling Queen Amanada has alerted Willow and Stat to the fact that in wrestling lore, it is not safe to huddle on the outside. But unfortunately, they would not get themselves together and out of the way before a flying Tekla came crashing down on both of them with a lovely cross-body splash. Tekla lands on her feet and hypes up the crowd with a battle cry, and like it ain't no thing. She is just that cool. A pin on Willow didn't work, so Tekla transitions into a crossface, which morphed into a Nagata Lock 3, I shit you not, with an added jaw-wrenching for good luck. Remember, I got really shitty the last time she did this because the ref was all like, oh, you're being like illegal, count. And I'm like, how is that illegal when like the lockjaw thing isn't illegal? Riddle me this. And this time the ref didn't do anything. They were just like, being like, yo, Willow, you want to like tap out or something? Your like face is kind of getting ripped apart like it's in sore. Like, you good? Haha. So we are better. Willow holds on and powers Tekla's hands away from her jaw and out of her mouth. And that broke the submission. Well done. Chris jumps into the ring and she and Tekla end up double teaming on Willow for a bit and successfully take her down. Queen Amanada bursts into the ring, but the two still have an alliance and they take her down as well. Tekla has a momentary lack of judgment when she accepts Darkstat's hand for a celebratory handshake and gets a boot to her womb instead. Chris, imagine if you got like a kick to the womb and it was like period fucking insanity down there. Oh, fuck me. That would get you shitty. That would get you a stiff slap to the face. But enough about me. Chris kicks the life out of Tekla, but gives her just long enough to boot Stat away and get some space to capture Darkstat within her web and Jurogumo Stat, but with Queen Amanada right there on the outside. She just comes up and double chops Tekla in the abs, and Tekla crashes down to the ground. A beatdown ensues on the outside with Stat and Queen Amanada, while Willow rolls Tekla back into the ring. They too have a one-on-one. Darkstat finally beats Queen Amanada in the attempted suplex onto the floor game, and then joins Willow taking out Tekla. Interesting. Tekla takes them both on and uses her quickness and strong kicks to get over on the two powerhouses, who also would not really be working in tandem either. So not quite the team that they would have been before when they used to tag together. Oh, memories. She takes Willow out, but Chris Stat is still fighting and plonks Tekla on the top rope in the corner. Stat has something in mind, but she soon gets knocked down from Tekla's back elbow. While Tekla takes a moment to bask in her glory. Bask in her glory. Who was that? That was Keith Lee, wasn't it? Queen Amanada springs up the ropes from the outside and they square up. Queen Amanada literally and figuratively has the high ground, but Tekla engages steel ab mode and sits up out of the tree of woe, facing Amanada, who now finds herself in an avalanche suplex situation. Eep. And soon Amanada goes flying and crashing down to the mat, landing heavily on her hip. Oh. Tekla continues what she was doing before being rudely interrupted and basks in her glory. But this is a four-way. Four-way. No basking until the deal is done because Willow now grabs a handful of hair and hammers down on Tekla's chest, forcing her back down into the tree of woe for a third time. I thought Willow was going to go for the cannonball on Tekla, but Willow hoists Queen Aminata up into like a fireman's carry. Perhaps maybe a Death Valley driver into Tekla with a Queen Aminata. Woo! That would take out two competitors and quite ambitious, but I think she could pull it off. But Darkstat has pounced into go mode now too, and she yoinks Tekla, putting her in a tombstone position. Tekla escapes this though and pushes Stat into Willow, who falls back, giving Queen Aminata a Samoan drip. A Samoan drip. Imagine that. No, let's not. Tekla powers up her body and engages spider mode. This power up move usually transitions into a brutal spear, and she is successful in taking Darkstat down with it. Willow then comes in to battle Tekla, but Tekla clocks her with a stiff forearm. Queen Aminata gets to her feet and nails Tekla in the head, but with her brutal headbutt. Darkstat is up though and tries to take Aminata out with a lariat, but Queen Aminata sees it coming, counters, and takes Stat down with a fisherman's neck breaker. Mwah. Aminata has no time to capitalize on this though, because as soon as she gets to her feet, a big boot from Willow catapults the one and only across the ring. Willow then takes out Tekla, but turns it into a stiff. No, she turns into a stiff lariat from Darkstat, who catches Queen Aminata coming from her left and kicks her in the head. But the tough skull of Aminata absorbs the blow and she cracks Stat in the head with off with her head. Another devastating headbutt. Everyone is down on the mat. And for the first time, there's going to be some sort of recovery that can happen for all of the wrestlers. Chicago, Chicago, Chi-Town. You bright light at the end of a very smoky tunnel. You are on fire for this match and show your appreciation for the battle with a standing ovation. Bravo. This is like one of the best redemption arcs in wrestling going on right now. The cheers from the crowd invigorate the wrestlers and they all start to get to their feet. Tekla and Queen Aminata find themselves face to face as Darkstat stands face to face with, Darkstat and Willow stand face to face with each other. This whole thing between Willow and Chris is not resolved, not in the absolute least. In fact, every time they have tried to resolve things, it has just ended up worse. Willow seems to be moving on from the hurt and focusing on herself, but there seems to still be some niggling feelings towards Stat inside of her. Darkstat seems as conflicted as ever, fueled by something, and seems to be trying to just focus on herself, but it's not coming from a supportive place, so it doesn't seem to be effective for her. Both of them need to just cut the shit, and Willow needs to let down the walls between them a bit for anything to be able to truly resolve. But this is wrestling, and people usually just end up going through windows. So we'll just see what happens. Back in the ring, Willow and Stat have a forearm battle while Queen Aminata and Tekla slap the living shite out of each other. Full-on battle erupts in the ring with Queen Aminata taking out Tekla and then Stat via a gorgeous air raid crash. But neither Tekla nor Willow are going to stay down, and both of them are on their feet. Tekla cracks Queen Aminata in the face with a kick. Willow yoinks Tekla and powers her up into the babe with the power bomb and slams Tekla down to the mat. Willow, of course, goes for the pin and may have actually gotten the win, but Darkstat, she yoinks the ref's feet and pulls Ref Aubrey out of that ring before she can count to 3. It is a four-way. Come on. But as the ref yells, Chris is absolutely unbothered and just basks in the glory of the applauding crowd, because this is Chicago. They like me, love a heel. So, of course, they're going to applaud the dastardly deeds of heelish motivations. But they also are really getting behind like the baby faces as well, bless their little hearts. So they're really just trying to enjoy themselves, and I love it. Willow, on the other hand, is pissed. She slides out of the ring and faces up to Duck Stat, but Stat sees red, like literally and figuratively, and instantly plows Willow into the barricade. They start to just rumble up the ramp, and I'm like, are you coming back? No, we never see them again. They just go. So, that's two gone. Now it's a one-on-one. In the ring, Aminata nails Tekla with a double stomp off the top rope and goes for a strong pin, but not even sitting on Tekla's face, and can keep her down for the three. The look of frustration on Queen Aminata's face quickly changes to a neutral hatred as she sees Sky Blue stomp down to the ring with all the hair dressed in black with sin written across the chest. Sky Blue climbs up onto the apron, ignores Queen Aminata, and starts jaw jabbering and distracting the ref. 'Twas a ruse, of course, because Julia Hart is also ringside and slides into the ring like a ninja, spits black mist into the face of Queen Aminata, and then exits without the ref even having any clue she was there. Well done, Julia. Mwah, beautiful. Shenanigans completed. Sky Blue gets down off the apron. Tekla boots the one and only in the face and pins Queen Aminata for the one, the two, and the three. Sky Blue and Julia Hart get back into the ring, both very satisfied with their good work as they stand united and victorious. The Coven can do a lot with 100K. What are they going to be like? Are they Hounds of Hell affiliated still? I really hope they do. But then do they also have their own little like name for this threesome? Everything has been quite silent on that kind of half. So I can only speculate and constantly make up different names for this coven as I do, as I tend to do constantly. There, after the match, was a post shared onto the socials of Tekla joining a very happy Julia and Sky Blue on the backstage stairs. And I'm guessing that this officially makes them a trio. Woo, they're social media official, one could say. Next up, our world goes grey. But reds are accentuated in our hearts. Because it's time for Timeless Tony's song. Good grief, she looks gorgeous and powerful this evening. Our world champion stands out in the gray and in color because there is no one like her. The reds are accentuated in this promo, and it's so gorgeous. I am so happy that my weekly wrestling consumption involves just fantastic moments from a living women's wrestling legend. As usual, she gives us a banger of a promo. Go watch it if you haven't, you silly sausage. Again, it's just brilliant. It's just absolutely, I don't know where my mind just went there. I just like focused on the promo and then everything in my head just went boo. Helpful. Our forever champ, though, the fallen goddess, the American Joshi, the ROH world champion, Athena, and Billy hack into the Titantron and have some words of impending doom for the timeless Tony Storm. Athena is in a all-black battle ensemble of awesomeness, all spiked and strapped and laced up the wazoo. Her outfits are awesome. Billy! Billy, 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 Billy. Her hair is up in these like two puffy little buns with like purple goodness, and she is in this long sleeved sheer black dress with sparkles everywhere. As is wrestling appropriate, and she looks glamorously badass. Well done, Athena and Tony in battle. Goodness grief. 2025 just keeps giving in the women's wrestling world, and I am having the best time. I mean, AEW in general is killing it like consistently. Woo! Champ count on the Forever Champ. Athena is now 44 days as of recording away from 1,000 days as ROH World Champion. I have no idea what I'm going to do on day 1,000, but you'll know because it'll be happening right here. Now, moving on from that excellent promo between the two. I do have to make one tiny little mention. It cracked me the frick up when Timeless just got sick of Athena's like jibber jabbering. And then she just like twirled her way all the way down. I love that. I love a good twirl in and out of camera. You may have noticed. So, Mother Wayne makes a few appearances in the promo for the matriarchy. What do you call them now? Kip rules on the mic. Loved the promo. Mother Wayne was respectfully drawing a lot of attention, and Kip managed to break through that. Mother was definitely mothering this evening. Visual representation, if you're not watching the video, is on the screen right now. Whew. Moving on. Marina is mad and jacked, and she accompanies the men folk of the Death Riders as they make their way to the ring for the main event trios match. Any opportunity Marina gets to use Powerhouse Hobbs's body as a kick pad, she takes it. And about a third into this match, she gets to use Powerhouse's body in that way again. She lays in some stiff ones to him on the outside. Woo! With a mild choking via knee and a very disrespectful to the back of the head, which I personally thought she was going to get speared for, but no. Did not happen. Marina is as cocky as ever. Knowing that Hangman isn't afraid of her has not stopped her violent interfering at all. In fact, I swear it actually kind of fuels it. She's a mad lad. Oh, I love her. We end on shenanigans, as is tradition. Goodness grief. It was a wonderful Dynamite. It had a really like light, fun feeling in this gorgeous venue after, all the pay-per-view amazingness. But then we are very quickly moving into like these other little, storylines. And I just love it. We're just like zooming ahead, but it doesn't feel like we're being pushed along, We're all on this like fun little like river of awesome storylines and wrestling, and all these new people are kind of coming in. I can't remember who said it, but one of the sickos said on Threadaroonies about how someone had been saying about, I think it might have been Ghost. Shout out Neon Ghost, you adorable, wonderful human. About like people were saying that like wrestling should have seasons and yada yada yada, and how like in a way he felt like AEW kind of naturally have in a way. It's a good thing about having a big roster is that you don't want to saturate everyone like all the time. Like you got to be able to like interchange and like move in and out and have like stories flowing, because like you're working with real people with real lives, so you need to be interchangeable. You're also working with like a live crowd and like the fan feedback, and then all these different like creative minds coming through. So yeah, it's a good thing to have people come in and out. I love it. Yeah. So we are moving on to Collision Hardcore Country. Sorry, it's like I have to yell that out in my life often. We are still in Chicago at the fabulous arena, which looks so freaking good on camera. It is such a fun environment to have wrestling in. And when Chicago are letting loose and enjoying themselves, this is going to be a fun collision. This is definitely bringing Chicago back from the depths. In fact, I will say it right now. I will proclaim, you have come back, Chicago. Welcome back into the light. Let's enjoy some wrestling. Colt Cabana is having a sweet little champ. sweet little champ, sweet little chat as ambassador for Chicago on the announce desk. But out of nowhere, a murderous scamp in the form of Marina Shafir comes up behind Mr. Cabana with a chain and she starts choking Colt out. Woo! Mux also has a chain and busts Mr. Cabana open. Marina stomps on Colt. Fucking Yuta gets involved. And then Mux projects his insecurities onto Colt Cabana by hanging him over the side of the ring by the chain. After they are done, they all walk out through the crowd as the crowd chant in unison, "You tapped out. Thank you, Chicago. You are using your smuckiness for good." After the break, we fade into a very serious Lexi Nair with all of the hair and a gorgeous dark stat. Lexi is lovely and like a cappuccino in gold and, says a few like heartfelt words about the state of Colt Cabana. She then questions Duckstat involving Willow and that she, deflects the challenges and such and so forth. By the way, Duckstat has a beautiful makeup on tonight, a very effective dark smoky eye smudged into the corners out. Instantly, Duckstat notices that the Death Riders are blatantly walking through her eye shot, and she bursts into protective mode and like stands in front of Lexi, which I thought was quite sweet. Marina walks on, but of course, fucking Yuta has to make a comment. This brings back Marina, who yoinks him away whilst yelling at him in Moldovan. Seems the words from fucking Yuta have lit a new fire in Stat, and she walks off, leaving a very confused and slightly scared Lexi now. It's time for battle as the music of Megan Bain hits. Bane walks confidently out to the entrance stage in her all-in battle gear, her new battle jacket looking gorgeous, and her headdress literally adding about like 60 centimeters to her height. Like I could like go down here and her headdress would still be in shot. It's insane. As Bane battle poses, Arcadiora informs us that everyone has been banned from ringside during the match. Note, during the shenanigans doorway. This will be Ty Mello's first singles match, and it's against Bane, who hasn't lost on Collision. Uh-oh. Ty Mello definitely has no fear, that's for sure. Green, yellow, and blue light dances around to the beats of Ty Mello's entrance music, which is quite the bop. Ty explodes out to the entrance stage, and it looks like the big wave to the crowd. I can't do it because then my hand would be out of shot. Is staying in her battle entrance, so we're just gonna have to live with it. All right, we get a little shimmy and a blown kiss to the camera, and it's giving me honest away, go away heat. But I'm gonna fight through it, people. I'm gonna fight through it because evolution can always happen on a wrestler's journey, fighting through it, everyone. Ty is, pretty fucking bubblegum baby face. But then the face she gives Bane when she gets into the ring is so flipped and mean girl gangster that it gives me hope that maybe Duck Ty will be coming, because that's what I interpret as Ty Mello's true form, not in a diss way, of course, in a wrestling way. She gives really good, mean girl face and knows how to legit hurt you and could be like a Diamante kind of thing, but in her own way, I can see it. But then we switch quickly back to the big waves to the crowd and I'm lost again. It truly is a pet peeve of mine. I have just discovered. So, from anyone in wrestling, once I realized why this was bugging me so much, and it's purely just pet peeve thing, completely silly. But then my mind raced back to all the other wrestlers that did it, and I was like, yep, didn't like them. Yep, didn't like them. Didn't like. If you want to get me off, yeah, just fucking do a big wave to the crowd like a lunatic. Let's move on. The bell rings. The bell is ringing. And the Megasis engages in opening tactic 101. The two wrestlers walk up to one another, and Bane picks up Ty, carries her back into the corner, and then ram shoulder tackles into Mellow. Midsection. Oh dear. Bane stops when she wants to, but she makes the ref feel like he had some sort of control over her and walks away from Ty. Giving herself some space to run back in for the heavy body splash is tradition. But Ty quickly gets out of the corner, and even though Megan manages to turn herself into the corner, Ty is quickly on her, and Mallow releases an invigorating battle cry. She hammers forearms into Bane quite heavily. Bane pushes her off, and Ty stumbles backwards a little bit from the force. Bane gives Mallow a "come on!" and Ty runs back in, hammering quicker and stiffer forearms into Bane's chest. Bane pushes her off again, and this time Ty ninja rolls backwards onto her feet and counters the incoming lariat from Megan into a tight little waist lock. Megan doesn't waste too much time trying to break Ty's grip and instead clocks her in the head with a nice back elbow. Ty stumbles but runs into the lariat from Bane and crashes down to the mat. Bane kicks dust and basks in her glory. Bane stalks around Mallow for a bit, then grabs a handful of hair, pulling Mallow up to her feet. Megan scoops up Ty Mallow, spins her around for added intensity, and also just to show off a little bit about how undeniably strong she is, and hams her down for a powerbomb. I think, honestly, we have a four-way tie between Bane, Darkstat, Willow, and the forever champ, the Fallen Goddess, the American Joshi, the ROH World Champion, Athena. Not dismissing the other members of the roster, of course, because there are very strong wrestlers in like both locker rooms, but those just seem like the top, like in my opinion, just the top four, like, you know, strongest women in the division at the moment. Oh, the things that they can do. And their stamina, because the stamina is there as well. Very important. The Megasis slams Ty Mello down onto the mat with a thud, and Ty yells out in pain, grabs the back of her head. Bane can sense blood in the water and sets up for her devastating flying lariat. The Decapitator. But Jay's judo clicks in and she yoinks Bane's arm and takes her down to the mat with a tight armbar, which is very smart. I think targeting Bane's arm might be the better option in this case instead of the usual taking out of the legs of the bigger opponent, because Bane's match-ending Decapitator is so important in her arsenal. But she is expanding. Bane uses all of her power and flexibility. The girl's got flex to roll herself out of the armbar, but Ty has locked into her judo powers and keeps control of Bane's arm, forcing Bane into a triangle. Bane could still power out of this, and as I look at the screen still from this moment, because, you know, I'm pausey and righty things, I can see that Bane's feet were actually perfectly underneath her. And if she was to get enough breath, she could totally deadlift Mello and then slam her down onto the mat. Bane manages to do exactly that, but with the power of only one arm. Woo! She doesn't keep her balance to fully extend, but the end result is still the same. And Ty instantly breaks the submission and crashes to the mat. Down but not out, Ty and Bane continue to battle it out, even after Ty Mello surprisingly manages to head scissors the Megasis over the top rope and onto the floor. Ty dances along the apron, avoiding Bane's attempt to trip her up. Mello flies at Bane for a crossbody to the outside, but instead of taking her out, Bane catches her, adjusts her footing a little bit, and then flings Ty over her head for a beautiful fall-away slam, might I add, on the frickin' floor. The crowd goes nuts, and a very pleased with herself Megasis basks in the glory. I am noticing that there are certain things that I say often, and I have to say them in a certain funny accent. Aren't you lucky? The pain of Mallow continues when Bane flings her into the barricade. Mallow tries to fight back with some elbows, but Megan slams her back into the ring, then plants her there with a stiff chop to the chest. Bane breaks the count and then helps Ty back into the ring by slamming her back on the apron. Ooh. Ty rolls under the ropes into the ring while Bane has her back to her, once again soaking up the power from the cheering crowd. You'd think this would be a perfect time for her to capitalize, but Ty cannot capitalize at all and gets manhandled around the ring by Bane until the Megasis manages to activate Ty Mello with a stiff chop to the tit. Woo! Ty instantly returns with a spicy chop to Megan's chest. They spar back and forth for a bit until Bane chops the life out of Mello and she drops down to the mat. Ooh. Bane grabs Ty by the hair, and then we get a goddamn musical interlude of absolute annoyance. Damn it. We come back from this interlude, and Bane has Mello in a headlock, which is abnormal. Ty gets to her feet and breaks the headlock with a lovely jawbreaker. Ty gives Bane multiple heavy running forearms, but Bane eats up every one. Ty puts so much into them that when she collides Bane at full power for the third time, she almost takes herself out from hitting the unmovable force that is Bane. As the crowd fill the ballroom with dueling chants, Ty Mello springs into action and plows multiple boots through, literally, Bane's face. Woo! Mello brutally boots Megan in the face, and the ref does nothing. Revealing, I should say, revealing the brutality inside of her. A very happy Ty smiles for the fans. She is sadistic and torture you to death. Mello would be so much cooler than Bubblegum Face Mello, in my humble Healy opinion. Bane terminators up behind Mello and almost takes her down with a Fate's Descent, but a wriggly Mello gets out of it. A dance of violence continues, but when Bane gets the upper hand and hoists Mello up for a power move, Ty snaps into judo power again and locks in a tight guillotine headlock with a battle cry from the depths. Bane then pulls off the coolest little counter to this and hits Mello up for a falcon arrow that almost gets Bane the pin. Mello is absolutely knocked out and powers back with a running knee that would connect this time, and then she captures a dazed Bane, flips her over for a successful Brazilian destroyer. Mello goes for the pin, but it will just be a 2. She is stunned. Ty threw everything at Bane, but Bane won't stay down. Ty hoists Bane onto her back for her Ty KO, but Bane blocks the knee, grabs it, and throws Mello over her head for an exploder suplex. Mwah! Holding her neck, fighting through the pain, Bane lines Ty Mello up for the decapitator, and she successfully plows through Mello with the flying lariat. The Megasis smacks her shoulders and releases a battle cry from the depths. Bane picks her up, Mello's dazed body. Bane picks up Mello's dazed body and demolishes Ty with her running like a bomb, which is becoming another very powerful finisher for Bane, which means we will need a name. Thank you very much. Because we have, as discussed, everything is more powerful when it's done by Bane. She squishes up Mello really good for the pin, too. She's not even cocky pinning Mello with this one, and gets the 1 and the 2 and the 3. Hello, woo! The victorious Bane receives her praise from the crowd, and we fade away. No shenanigans. Not a 1. No after shenanigans. Well, there was no time for after shenanigans, but not a shenanigan in the group. Layla Gray. I swear, these are all natural progressions to a Layla Gray. They really are. Every road leads to. I love it. Friend of the pod, Layla Gray, always looking fantastic. whew, is standing with her faction. As you know, some guy called Scorpio Sky gives us a rundown of their plans. Layla Gray is divine in black pants that have some like corset lacing down the front of her legs. She radiates confidence in a red wine colored crop halter neck and matching lipstick. Her guns look amazing, and everything is fine and happy until Don Callis interrupts everything. Layla Gray gives Callus the look he deserves, which is one of disgust. Thank you, Layla Gray. Layla's facials carry us through this promo, and she gives him a get there look as he leaves. And then the fallen angel, Christopher Daniels, blocks our view of Miss Gray. And we have to move on. It's so sad. Christopher Daniels, why would you do that to us? See, look, she's gone now. She's not there anymore. Till we meet again. Layla Gray! This is so unhinged, and I love it. Next up, we get the most fabulous faction of all time come out to the ring for Taya Valkyrie's match against Alex Windsor. And with that, I'm going to take a slight moment to have a drink because is it just hot? Is it hot in me or is it just Layla Gray? It's Layla Gray. The fucking thirst is real. Figuratively and literally. Oh my God. I'm a menace. We're all menaces. Good grief. Please, please, please. It will give us breath and life. And please, please, please. We love you, Layla. Friend of the pod. You know, every day is better with Layla Gray. Every day is better when you have Layla Gray. Layla Gray! In a dark blue light with the flash of the paparazzi going on, Taya walks to the center stage and pulls her battle pose like an athletic model. Wearing her giant puffy sleeve black battle coat, I can see her white fluffy leg warmers poking out from underneath. Perfectly on cue and synchronize, the men folk reveal themselves from behind Valkyrie. And after a moment to battle pose, Mansoor, Madden, and Johnny TV carry Taya to the ring, which I really hope is going to be tradition because that was not beautiful. Suddenly, Alex Windsor appears on screen cutting a spicy promo from backstage. This will be the first time that she and Taya Valkyrie will be battling each other, which really is a surprise. We have not discussed Alex Windsor yet, so let's learn a little bit about it, shall we? Alex is the current WOS Women's Champion for World of Sport, which is out of Norwich, Norfolk in England, and has held this for 311 days. Alex has been in the biz since 2009 and has a very technical style to her wrestling, I'd say. She has held multiple singles championships. She has won the Bellatrix World Championship twice and was Rev Pro undisputed British Women's Champion for over a year until she was defeated by Danny Luna. In Japan, she won the International Princess Championship in Tokyo Pro by defeating Sicko Fave Maki Ito. Windsor's new AEW entrance theme is called Scars of Steel, but she has also wrestled in AEW before. Two matches were on Rampage, with the one being a tag match with Anna Jay, and they were versing Chris Statlander and Willow Nightingale back when everything was all good. And she had a singles match against Miss Tony Storm. Alex also had a match against the wonderful Athena in ROH earlier this year, and very, very recently challenged Siri for the IWPG Women's title, which is why when she came in very, very, into the gauntlet match, she was sure and Siri had like unfinished business. We will probably get a little bit of a, hey, So you're back now, I see, when we get Siri back from injury, which we hope goes well and fast and all of the wonderful things that you always want with injuries. Windsor's music hits and she bursts out onto the entrance stage. Alex is in a grey, which I first thought was blue for some goddamn reason, gold and white battle one piece with a stiff battle vest of the same colours. Alex Windsor is a mountain of energy and confidence as she battle poses on the ropes. Taya looks glorious in blue and black sparkly battle gear, while the men folk apparently spritz their seed around ringside. Don't know anything about that one. Taya is watching Alex Windsor get herself ready. Absolutely in no way intimidated. The bell rings and these two strong women lock up in the middle of the ring. Taya wins this battle of strength and pushes Windsor down to the mat. Taya then stomps the welcome mat into the body of Alex Windsor until the ref forces her to stop, which is not very welcoming of the ref, is it? Taya gives Windsor a moment to recover, but then jumps into action, throwing her into the corners of the ring, followed by heavy lariats that expel all the wind out of Windsor. A running meteor from Valkyrie lands perfectly on target. Taya pulls her out from the corner by her leg for the pin, but Alex strongly and defiantly kicks out at one. Taya grabs a handful of Windsor's hair and plants her in the corner again with a sharp chop to the chest, which activates Alex Windsor. Taya whips her into the corner, and when she runs in for the attack, Alex hefts herself over Taya and takes her down with a couple of swift arm drags. A nifty backflip into a dropkick knocks Taya down, and Windsor goes for the pin. This time, it is Taya who defiantly kicks out at one. Alex anyway, calls upon the crowd for some extra oomph and then lays in some heavy shots to Taya's abdomen. Then chops the cap out of Taya's chest. Taya is then whipped viciously into the opposite corner. Whew. Alex runs straight at Taya, who counters the attack with an attempted double boots to the face. Alex stops in time, though, catches Taya's feet, and then turns it into a hanging neckbreaker. Windsor goes for another pin, and this time Taya kicks out at two. Alex switches it up and wraps Taya's fluffy legs into a sharpshooter, but Taya thinks quick and uses her flexibility to pull on Windsor's hair, forcing her to break the hold. Taya goes for a submission herself, but Windsor is too close to the ropes and grabs the bottom one. Ref Aubrey tells Taya that she must let go. Taya gives Windsor a small amount of space and then starts stomping on her again. Taya runs to the ropes for momentum, but Alex Windsor yoinks her out of the air, slams her down with a blue thunder bomb. Alex goes for the pin, but Taya still kicks out at Windsor goes for another pin after nailing Taya with a spinning lariat, but that won't keep Taya down neither, and she kicks out again. Alex goes for a headbutt that lands right on target, and Taya falls straight down. Alex yoinks her fluffy legs again and twists them into a sharpshooter and sits down deep. Oh, on Valkyrie's back in the center of the ring. Taya holds out, but she cannot, and she taps out at... Oh, no, she just taps out. As Alex gets her hand raised, it seems someone on the roster is not impressed with all of this noise. We look off into the balcony overlooking the ring, and it is our forever champ, the fallen goddess, the American Joshi, the Ring of Honor world champion, who is, like I said, 44 days away from being champion of 1,000 days. Athena! She has a mic in one hand and her contract for the title shot in the other. And sass is definitely in her frass. Not one to question the forever champ, but she does refer to Alex Windsor as Andrea and tells her to get her ass to the back, for it is Athena Elite Wrestling time. Did she get that wrong? Is that a slight diss? Or does she just not care? She probably just doesn't care. Athena takes the piss out of everyone in Chicago, including our timeless world champion. And for that, she summons the world champion immediately. The timeless one stomps down to the ring in full Technicolor and pearls. A red polka dot battle two piece and a black sheer robe billows out behind her. And the world championship glistens under the ballroom lights. A war of divine words ensues between these two fantastic wrestlers who both absolutely kill it on the mic and in the ring. Timeless pulls a swerve on her upcoming match with Billy Starks on Dynamite and informs Athena that if Billy does win, Billy earns herself her own title shot, which Athena instantly tries to talk her out of. She's like, wait, no, yeah, nah, bro, nah. Tony is done talking and sprints out of the ring and up the stairs in pursuit of the forever champ in her balcony, who takes off into the crowd stage left. Timeless appears on the now vacant balcony and basks in the glory of her adoring crowd. And we fade away to sweet little Lexi Nair, who is backstage to capture a heartwarming scissor moment between Daddy Ass and Anthony Bowens. And we move on and out of here, as that is the end of our coverage for Collision. Main roster show's done. What are we thinking? I'm thinking it's good. I'm loving that we're having this little residency in Chicago. Hell of a lot more storylines are developing and all this kind of shenanigans, and I like it. It's great. I think we should move on over to ROH and see what those little rascals have been up to, huh? We get a little rundown of the past four-way for the interim world tally title, where Mina successfully won, but they also had to announce her injury to her hand. I have heard that it could be a while. Blah, 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 blah. These are all, what people say just so they can put something out there. So, I'm not going to say anything. I don't know. It's not my hand. I have no idea what's going on with it. So I hope, but they didn't actually say anything about that. All they did leave on was that they send their healing vibes to the world tally and the interim tally champion, and then we just kind of floated off. It's like, guys, I mean, think on it for a little bit, but what the fuck's gonna happen now? Like, Fook knows. Absolutely, Fook knows what's happening with the title right now. Whee! We have a match with Diamante! Yay! Diamante is back! And she is facing Maya World, of which I am very excited because I just love Diamante's attitude. She is a real badass and violence looks really good on her. And the last time we saw Maya World, she was fantastic. As we said, she's been doing a lot of stuff in fourth rope and everything else, and her look has evolved, and she's just so cool. Huh. Excuse me, I'm sorry for stacking up factions like I do, but Diamante would kill it in the Death Riders, don't you think? She's got that, full on, sniper, I would murder you with a double shotgun to the face kind of thing going on. Brilliant. Anyway, Diamante is in very cool new battle gear of silver and black, and she has all of the length in her hair. Like Sky Blue took all the hair and Diamante took all the length. Nothing for anyone else anymore. It looks fabulous. Diamante battle poses on the ropes, and in the background, we can see that Maya is already in the ring. Maya is looking cute as folk in her pink and green battle gear with adorable battle pigtails in her hair. Maya pumps up the crowd while Diamante gets herself ready, and then the two wrestlers meet in the middle of the ring for the handshake of honor, as is tradition. Diamante doesn't let go of Maya's hand, though, and while Maya tries to break free, Diamante kicks her in the midsection. Diamante kicks her and then rains down hammer fists on Maya's back. Diamante runs off the ropes, but Maya is able to avoid her, and she leaps over Diamante. But tears from Diamante? That cannot be avoided, and Maya goes down hard. Maya has moments where she can counter Diamante and gets in some stiff shots, but Diamante is on another level during this match and lands like 90% of every damaging blow. A step up Enziguri takes all of the remaining fight out of Maya. And like I said, she's been doing a lot of matches, and then this Diamante, she just like came in and just fucking Diamante finishes her off with the Puerto Rico Destroyer into the pin, and Diamante gets the 1 and the 2 and the 3. I also say Diamante and Diamante. That's fun for me. Still pumped, Diamante basks in the glory of her win, and that's it for Ring of Honor. Ooh, on that one. But it was still fun. We had a Diamante, more Diamante. Yes, please, yes, please, yes, please. Yes, please. So, before we skedoodle off, my lovely sickos, I would like to mention that don't, what's that? Don't call me Dim. Sorry, we're going to do that line again. What? I just wrote don't fave. And I'm like, what? Instead of like, what is don't fave? Don't fave. All right. Never fave. You're putting too much pressure on your choices. What if you favorite something and you come back to it and you're like, that's just not me anymore? That's not my favorite. We're like almost done recording. Why am I jabbering on in this tone? Oh, my lips are disgusting. All right, carrying on. All right. We'll just start from that line again. Before we skedoodle off, my lovely sickos, I would like to mention that Don't Call Me Diva Fave and World Treasure Nyla Rose is fighting in the upcoming all-women special event Who Runs the World on the 9th of August in Bedford, Texas. This special event is a passion project by our very own Ring of Honor champion. Look at the poster, isn't it gorgeous? She will be hosting this event under the banner of Metroplex Wrestling that Athena co-owns with another person. She's been co-owner of that since like 2022. She has also announced that this is going to be a regular thing. So, YOSH! Fucking A. I don't know how to watch it yet, but I shall be finding out if it is possible. And of course, I'll do a review if I can get, if I can watch it. Nyla herself will be fighting in the Bad Bitch Brawl against Morgan Mercy, Charity King, and Baby D. Monica Monroe and Gigi Ray, who are the tag team The Moneybirds, will face London Dior. She spells it Londyn, and no shade. I actually quite like. I love that. That's so. That's so canny. And Kia Dream. That will be tag team fun times right there. The other wrestlers that have been announced are the MXP Women's Champion Razor Clark. She faces Abaddon, which is awesome. Shy Carmichael is going to be fighting Emma Camacho. And the other wrestlers on the card that have been announced are Vit Vixen, Hyan, who is cool, so cool. Her look is amazing, by the way. Masha Slamovich, which, legend. And Maya Weld, who we freaking love and we is amazing. Right before this event, on the 2nd of August, Nyla Rose will also be appearing at the Wrestling Collector during the SummerSlam weekend for a meet and greet. Oh, can I just throw in some shade? I heard that SummerSlam is like going to be like 2 days. like you have enough to fill 2 days. What is that? What is it? What is wrong with just putting on a kick-ass Just one pay-per-view. No one wants this double night bullshit. Moving on. Thunder Rosa will also be there. And if you're going to see them, give them a what's up from Don't Call Me Diva and then, put us over because that's what a real sicko would do. What are your thoughts on this week's discussion? If you so wish, you can leave them as a comment in the appropriate sections wherever you are. And if you would please be so kind as to like and subscribe, we would really appreciate it. We are trying, we are gunning for a very humble, in my opinion, 500 subscribers right now, maybe, right? Right. You can find this Looney Tune lurking at threads at Bex underscore Bastet if you feel the need, and under a tree at Blue Sky Bex hyphen Bastet. Thank you as always to the wonderful Shane, my excellent producer, editor, promoter extraordinaire. Go check out Ethos Media Network if you would like to check out more from him, as you should. Join us at sickosclub.com and at Sickos Club on Threads. You know it. You've never met a more inclusive, smart, kind, and talented bunch of sissy sausages. They would love that. They would love that. Bunch of silly, sissy sausages who enjoy wrestling simultaneously as adults and teenagers, but always would love. Silly sass. No, what is it? Silly, sissy, sicko sausages. I'm getting the fuck out of here. This was Don't Call Me Diva. Women's Wrestling Rules. Don't be a dick. We got real fucking death metal with that last